I always feel like my workshop's a mess and it's so hard for me to turn on the freaking camera, but I decided I would come in today. I really want to work on some sachets. I've gotten feedback that people want to put their soaps in their cars, they're putting them in their lingerie drawers, and I even got feedback that people are putting them in other weird places like their couch cushion sections. So I thought, okay, it's time. I mean, we've got linen sprays out there. I've got a couple of things in mind. Of course, Amazon being the king and queen of everything we purchase nowadays. I grabbed two types of envelopes. So I have this smaller one that I think is going to work really good in like lingerie bins, maybe even those couch sections. I don't know. Then I also grabbed this other envelope style that I really like. It's a little bit larger too, and this one would be more for a room, particularly like a bedroom or even a bathroom, maybe even a guest room, a guest bedroom. And this one does have the glassine lining in it. And because of that plastic, it's maybe not as natural, but it still will help to prevent any leaks or oil seeping through. So that's two options that I found. And of course, I've got to decorate this. We'll see what we come up with. I had to add this third option, which is a handcrafted crocheted sachet. If you like to crochet, I'll leave the pattern in the description for you to follow as well. I'm a huge fan of these disposable buckets, largely because I don't like to have more stuff to clean up. I've got so many projects all the time, and everything requires cleanup and washing. So for some of my projects, I'll just use these paper buckets. For this blend, you're going to need some vermiculite, some orris root powder, clean dry sand, essential or fragrance oils of your choice, that bowl for mixing, and an airtight container. I also recommend wearing gloves. I find it to make it much easier when mixing the blend. Start by adding about 4 cups of vermiculite to a bowl. This is a lightweight mineral and it's perfect for sachets. It's going to absorb the essential oils easily and then it'll slowly release their scent over time. It also helps to keep the blend dry and long lasting. Next, we're going to add some orris root powder. The orris root powder is a natural fixative. It's going to help anchor the scent and make your sachet last a lot longer. It also adds a natural floral aroma to your blend, so keep that in mind with the essential oils or fragrances that you choose. You're going to want to add 1 teaspoon for every cup of vermiculite. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sand to a separate container. The sand is going to help add weight to the sachet packet because the vermiculite and the orris root powder are very lightweight. This next step is how I get my sachet packets to be evenly scented throughout the entire blend. We'll start by adding your fragrance or essential oil to the sand. Then we'll slowly incorporate small parts of the batter or the blend into the sand. This way, the essential oils begin to kind of evenly distribute throughout and don't stick to either the orris root powder or the vermiculite. If you pour the essential oil or the fragrance oil directly into the vermiculite and orris root, it will want to stay in one spot as these are excellent absorbers. Lastly, using my gloved hand, I'll work that scented portion throughout the rest of the blend. At this stage, we'll transfer the mixture into an airtight container. We'll let it sit overnight or ideally for 24 hours so the minerals can fully absorb and bond with the oils. This step helps to deepen the scent and improve the staying power of your sachet. And ready, it's day 2. I'm ready to fill our sachet packets. I did print out 4 of these that I'm going to fill up, and I noticed that I had to take my design in Canva and I had to flip it. And to flip it because there's this little lip right here, and it's got the glassine lining in it. So don't want to print on that, and in order to avoid printing on that, I had to adjust my print. But I also needed to feed this paper into the printer, my printer, the way it works. I have an Epson 2800, and I had to feed it in on the straight edge. If I try to feed it in on the envelope lip edge, it would get caught in the printer and of course jam, and that's no good. If you like the design that I made, I'll go ahead and leave a link to it in Canva in the description. I want to add about 1 ounce to each of these packets, so I'm going to be using a little cup, measure out my vermiculite blend, and then I will fill my bags. And there you have it, a beautiful, wonderful smelling sachet packet that is going to last a very long time, and it's going to make a perfect gift for my Soap of the Month Club members. Whenever I get flowers, I always keep them on my laundry room wall, and I keep them in there because the warm air helps with the drying process. And usually I will just leave the flowers on the wall until I'm ready to use them for something like this project. This method, you're going to need those dried botanicals. I'm going to be using my dried roses and some dried lavender buds. You'll also optionally want to add some Epsom salt, or you can use your vermiculite blend, and I'll show you where to add that. You're also going to need some warm wax, your fragrance or essential oils, and optionally a handcrafted crochet sachet bag. Now the dried roses are going to add a soft floral note. The lavender buds are going to add a calm and comforting note and a very soothing herbal scent. You'll want to break everything up just as I'm doing, and it's really okay to use every part of the flower. Even the stem, I would just recommend to chop it up a little more. Since we're going to be adding wax, the wax is the base that's going to hold everything together and trap the fragrance, the botanical oils, and also the Epsom salt, if you use that, all together. It'll help everything stay fresh and well blended. I'm going to be using a soy wax. You can choose to use a blended wax if you'd like. Now, once your wax is melted, it's a good time to go ahead and add your Epsom salt either to the florals or to your hot wax. You'll give it a good stir, and then you'll pour it over the botanicals. Since I already had this wonderfully scented vermiculite blend, I decided just to go ahead and use that. Had I chosen to use the Epsom salt, I would have actually put it in the dry botanicals with my fragrance to allow the salt to absorb some of the oils. Yeah, this mixture is a little on the hot side, so I don't want to be using my hands. You'll want to use that spatula, get everything nice and blended, and then we'll allow the wax to cool down before we put it into our sachet. Now I'm just going to use a pair of my chopsticks and pick up the flowers, put them in the sachet, and I'm going to give it a good stuff. I mean, I'm going to try to fit as many of those flowers in there as possible. I'm going to do this while the wax is still malleable but not hot. That way I can kind of give the sachet packet a little shape. Now our all natural sachet packet is done, complete and ready to gift. I really enjoyed making this project and I hope that you enjoy doing the same, but I'm going to enjoy giving these away even more. Thanks for watching.